Hey y'all, hey. Welcome again. Welcome again.
Peace, peace. How everybody doing?
So Danielle, thank you so much for coming. Episode 2. You already know. Episode 2, Danielle. Episode 2. You know we got Jahi Allah, super producer. We
No,
got legendary Baby Cash out of South Dallas. You know what I'm saying? And listen, we coming tonight with some real stuff, real conversations. And I feel like a lot of times we hear about the struggles people go through. We hear about them doing the wrong, but a lot of times we get away from when we're doing stuff that we're not supposed to do. We get away from what we know, and I feel like in this situation we want to talk about faith, family, and forgiveness, because when you're out there doing stuff you're not supposed to do, a lot of times you forget about faith and your family, and you forgive about, you're not even thinking about forgiveness. Like, you're thinking about just doing you. And I feel like with all of our journeys, you know, we all have a testimony to talk about, when we lost faith, or when we gained our faith back, or when we needed to ask for forgiveness, and when we had to forgive. And then our family, most of the time our family is all we got. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You can have 50 million homeboys, you can have 50 million homegirls, but when you up in there by yourself, all you got is your family. Hey, Cartoon, how you doing?
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. So look, now you guys see, we got another legendary person up on here now. Now, only in the Brit fashion can this happen like this. You know what I'm saying? Have it cartoon 5-3, 5 Trey up here. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me correct that. I would prefer just Tony. Formerly Cartoon 5-3.
Right. Formerly. But I was having a conversation yesterday, and I'm glad you said that, because I was having a conversation, and Cash, I did an interview somewhere else, and he was, the person that was interviewing him was talking about, why did he still go by the Baby Cash and all that, the moniker, and he should just get rid of the moniker. But I like how you said that right there, because the first thing you said was formally, because if you go back to your hood and give back and try to make right your wrongs in the community, they don't know Tony. How many of your homeboys really know your real name like that? It's not a lot of them. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
just the ones I grew up with.
Right. But they know cartoon
Yeah,
five
they
Trey.
know
You know what I'm saying?
Cartoon.
So when you come there and you say formally, but you know what I'm saying, I am Tony, but formally I was this, you couldn't have said it any more better than that. And we just had that conversation. So, I'm glad you came up and said that. Me and you haven't even talked about that. So that's why I was kind of like, yeah, let's go. Let's start there.
All right.
Salute, Austin. Now, I was telling them that, today I want to talk about faith, family, and forgiveness. Because a lot of times when you guys are out there in the streets, when you guys are out there doing stuff that you're not supposed to do, even us civilians, you say, I got to, the civilians, we out there doing stuff that we're not supposed to do, but we lose faith. We don't think about the forgiveness. We don't think about our family. And I just want to kind of get to, before I get to it, I want you to think about this, because I do want to kind of introduce yourself so people can kind of know who you really are. Because I know that Baby Cash really don't, I don't think he knows too much about you. So I think that'd be a good little story for you to kind of go there. But I want you to think about that. Like, when you were out there and doing wrong, before you gained your faith, before you got it back, what made you get there? What made you get to that point? And when was the breaking point for you? You know what I'm saying? So before we start there though, I want to kind of know, I want you to kind of explain to you who you are. Explain to everybody.
Okay. I'm Tony. But that's me now. The person that Britannia's speaking on. I used to be Cartoon from East Side Avalon Gangster Crip 5 Trey. Um, did almost 40 years of my life behind bars. Was deep into the gang thing. Doing what, a product of my environment. The environment that I was born and raised into. I was a product of it. I came up doing what we did in South Central LA. in and out of jail, in and out of jail, you know what I'm saying, incarceration until finally, you know what I'm saying, God stepped in my life, put his hands on me and let me know, okay, look, what you gonna do? Can't serve two gods. You gonna serve me or them? And I chose to serve him. That's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Okay. And if you don't mind, were you in California, LA prison system, or was you out of state?
I did 23 straight in Alabama, and I did all the rest of it in California.
Okay. Okay. And so you got the experience of two different kind of systems, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, I've been to jail all over the United States, though. You know,
okay. So Cash, do you have any questions for Cartoon?
No, I'm letting the record play, man. I'm letting the record play. You know, I want him to be able to, you know, share who he is, man. You know, and I'm gonna soak it in with the rest of the people. You know.
Okay. Jahi, did you have anything?
Yeah. Oh man, Brett, you're doing fine. I want to do the knowledge. You know, these brothers right here are iconic for, you know, if you didn't have to sit in the cage for 40 years and someone is currently sitting in there. I want to hear from them.
Yeah.
That's where it's gonna come from.
So,
Shit.
so if we could start from,
I'm the fly on the wall. I'm doing the
that's
knowledge.
it. If we could start back from when we could say little Cartoon, you know what I'm saying, before like little Tony when he made that transition into Cartoon. And what made you want to take that route? What glamorized that situation for you to want to
I
do
mean, well, LA, you from Cali, coming up, like I said, that's why I use the term a product of my environment. Um, in some places they bang it because it's a pastime or a fad, but in LA, it's our culture, it's our background, it's what we are. You know what I'm saying?
that?
And
Right.
so me coming up in my set, that was the chain of events. We as little kids, we see the big homies on the corner, we see the big homies in the park, we see the big homies hanging out. So we come up, we want to be like them, we want to do what they doing. And so we can't wait to get our chance. That was a thing, especially in my generation. We couldn't wait to get put on the set. We could not wait. We as little kids in elementary school, that's what we would talk about when we was going to get old enough to come around without the homies saying, man, get your little young butt up out of here. And waiting
Right.
on that day when we can come around and say, man, what's up? And they tell us, you ready? Yeah, we ready. I'm ready. And you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get quartered on and put on the set. We lived for that. During my generation, we couldn't wait to go to jail. It's sad to say, but we couldn't wait to go to YA. We couldn't wait to go to juvenile hall, county jail, prison. It was a rite of passage because the older homies was doing it, and we figured that's what it was going to have to be, and that's what we wanted to do. We couldn't wait to do it, and we did any and everything we could to do that. And so, like I say, when you grow up in that environment, you become a part of that environment, whether you Crip or Blood. It's a rite of passage, man, and it's just something that you go through until you get old enough to realize, you know what, it might be something different for me to do.
Right. Right. Cash, can you kind of like agree with him with the upbringing part?
Yeah. For us, the game back in the start, it wasn't the culture there, you know what I'm saying? But the gangster stuff was taking place. So, a lot of the dudes that were growing up in our neighborhoods, and there was the gangsters of the neighborhoods or the hood stars or whatever, we grew up, emulating those dudes. We wanted to go to prison with them. They've been to juvenile and CYC. Like you said, it was a rite of passage to go there. When the game banging hit Dallas, those who really took to it. They lived it and ate it and slept it, and they was, living how they thought, the people back in LA was living, you know what I'm saying? So, it was a different culture for us, but it was one that we adapted to, I'm talking about quickly, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, that became the big thing, we didn't have a lot of big homies that, that lived that life, from the jump. So, we followed the footsteps of the big homies that was living the life, of the bad guys at the time, and we mixed all that in, when it came down to it, you know. But nonetheless, man, you know, some of the work was still the same, and some of the stripes and the stars was still earning the same, man. You know, in one hood, you know, it's going down like it is in our hoods, man. You know, we put in work and living it and dying at the same time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, so yeah, what he's saying, I agree, man, because you know, even though the gang banging, you know, wasn't here from the beginning of time when I grew up, it was still something that, you know, we looked up to and some people that, you know, we played with and thought that we was gonna be like, because, you know, they were considered the guys, the bad guys, and that's how we follow suit behind them, man. So yeah, I agree.
Okay.
You know what? And let me add on that. With me, I did a lot of traveling in my criminal career. You know, one of my cases was in two of my cases was in Texas. One in Liberty, and I caught a jewelry store robbery in Beaumont. Well, one of them was in Beaumont. I didn't get caught for it, but I met a lot of brothers from different places, and I'm 61 years old, and I done seen, with me doing time in Alabama, was a lot of dudes from Texas there. I met a lot of dudes from Texas on the road, and a lot of dudes from all type of different states. And a lot of times, like in my podcast or on my show, like in the questions be like, you know, how do people in LA look at, like, you know, the different gang banging that goes on in different states? And like, you'll hear all type of different questions. I mean, different answers, but it's a lot of people answering that question that ain't never really been nowhere. They just answering it. They ain't never been, you know, to Tennessee, Memphis, Texas, all these different places. They ain't been there, so they just giving these ludicrous answers.
Right.
And let me here to tell you, man, I done met, man, listen, homie, I done met some dudes from different states that's cripping and blooding, that's so down, I had to like take a second look at him and like, hold on, where you say you from again? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm talking about, and I had to learn that even like in Alabama, they might not do it the 100% same as we do it in LA, but the way that they learned to do it, they was 110% down with it. You know what I'm saying? Right. Just as hard, riding just as hard for what they believe in and giving they all in all. And I met some stoned down dudes from different states that has, you know, put their life into this game thing, man.
Right. Right. So when you look back at it, right? And you guys start saying, okay, now I'm out here, I'm active, I'm in these streets, I'm doing what I do, I'm doing me, I'm getting the money, I'm getting the women, I'm doing what I'm doing. And then now you become almost bigger than a program. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by that? Like, and I'm talking about the program of God. You know what I'm saying? You kind of become the bigger than a program of like, man, I'm doing this. It's the world of I did this. I love when people say like, I'm self-made. Well, there's no way that we self-made, because there's always the Most High that's helping us get to where we gotta go. So we get to that point where now we're self-made. It's all, we did this. I did this. I did this for me. And then reality hits. And the reality hits is you go to your first, juvie, your first prison, jail. How did that happen? Like the first time you went, did that make you become even more like, I'm gonna do it even harder, or did it make you kind of second guess? Your mic on.
Can you hear me now?
Yep. Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Were you giving that question to me?
Both of y'all. To both of y'all.
Go ahead and take it.
Somebody keeps trying to call.
Oh, okay.
But the first time I went to juvenile hall, I took to it like a fish to water. I might have been about 12 or 13, about 13. And I took to it like a fish to water because I had other homies that had went to juvenile hall and did like a couple of weeks and got out, and you know, they had all these fabulous stories about how they was in there fighting the enemigos and doing this and doing that, and you know letting fools know where they was from. And I ain't gonna lie, I couldn't wait to get. I'm like, dang, I couldn't wait to get there. So I called me a little old funny bunny, little old assault case, and went up in there. And I took to it, putting on for my set and doing this and that, and it didn't really bother me. Got out, went back, and like I told you, being a product of the environment, I was like, okay, this. I want to do this. I want to go in there. I want to lift weights. I want to get big.
Right.
I want to let my hair grow so I can have long braids like the homies. I want to come out and be able to tell the homegirls I was in there fighting and doing this and that. Putting it on for the turf. Right. And so, it never really bothered me. And I messed around and I became institutionalized. And I didn't know that I had became institutionalized. I had got to the point to where it didn't make me no difference if I was on the streets or if I was in jail. Because I figured, okay, when I got locked up, homies that was on the street, they putting on for the turf on the streets. So I'm going to put on for the turf in jail. I'm going to make sure that they know that this set right here got a down homie like me from it. So, it'll get you. It'll get into your system to where you become numb to it. You don't care nothing about going to prison, YA, county jail. You just don't care. It's like old home week,
Right.
It's funny you say that. It just I have a little brother that's like that. He started going back and forth to juvenile when he was 12. He was always off the chain, So we bring him from Detroit and we bring him into Las Vegas. And I introduced him to some friends of mine, and they end up turning into a very popular gang in the city. And he just been going back and forth to jail since we were kids. And he come home, he stayed for about 2 years, and nothing matters. Now he's fighting the case now, a murder. Shit, they had him all on he was jumping on your boy Keefy D here recently in jail out here in Vegas.
Oh, that was your brother.
Yeah. So he just stay busy. And he don't and when he go in there now, he communicate a little bit back and forth, but he has no problem with it. And it's just crazy. So
second nature.
But see, we always been tribes, from my travels, and I had the opportunity to go to a few places in my life. It might not be Crips and Bloods. If you in Detroit, you in Chicago, you in the different places, it's different things. In Detroit, they drug crews, and you go run with your neighborhood. Who did you play football with, basketball with, who did you go to school with, basically, So if you go back to the Zulu days, we run around Africa, you had different tribes, because everybody ain't gonna have the same culture and the same way of life. It could be a foundation to it.
Everybody left. It's just me and you, homie.
Hey, I'm here.
Yeah, me and you, the only two left. The other two, they disappeared.
Yeah. Oh, what happened? They cut off?
I don't know. Probably, I don't know. They bounced. Somebody might be calling their phones.
Yeah. Ain't no telling.
So look, Retalia was telling me, homie, you been down, what, 33 straight?
Yeah, I've been down there, man, 33 and 5 months, man. I got certified when I was 16, man.
Uh-huh.
And I caught a whole bunch of bodies banging in Dallas, I'm OG over 357 grade again. Because, man, I just, stand out for way, man, just trying to give myself a better chance to live,
Right.
Man, I've been fighting to try to get up out of here, man, for the longest. So I'm going to get ready to see them again. And hopefully, man, my chances are a lot better than they were, when I first pulled in, man. But, yeah, they gave me 50 years, man. But I had got 450 and 210 for 3 bodies and attempted capital murder, man. And, man, they had me roped up for a minute, man, but I didn't did more than what I got to do left, what I got left. So my time coming up, man.
That's what's up, homie. That's what's up.
Yeah. So you guys think about so you guys was doing that, right? So Show Your Love has stated, he said that he juvenile didn't teach a nigga nothing. That's what he said. Didn't teach him nothing. Then he said, uh, you catch a pistol case as a juvenile in Texas, you don't get no bond. I was mad. So because a lot of times people tell you, they don't tell these OGs and stuff, don't tell these younger kids that like, yo, it's a possibility that this could be your future where you don't have this and you don't have that. So a lot of times these kids are going in as if hold on, let's see. Like a lot of times these kids are coming in not realizing the severity of what's going on, where they don't know that the real time that they can get. And so then he said he was thinking so dumb. He said, I was thinking so dumb I couldn't wait till I was 17 and hit the county jail. Like that was the thinking. Instead of thinking like, you know what, I just want to get up out of here so I don't have to come back. He said, listen, I just want to let me just make it the county. That's all I want to do. So when you guys made it there, right? Y'all in there now. We here now. Then next thing you know, where's the homies at?
They in there with you.
Okay.
They
Okay.
everywhere. They on every floor.
Okay. So then once you guys are in there and y'all realize that, when did the realization come? Was like, listen, maybe this can't be right because all of us can't be in here. We got to have somebody out there to help. Because if we all in here, we all struggling. If some people came from less than others, nobody got no help to help.
Well, you got to look. That's not the typical thinking for a 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old. That's no.
Right.
The more y'all in there, the more prouder you going to be because it's like, okay, yeah, check us out. We deep. Yeah, it's about 9 or 10 of us in here. Yeah. And that's your thinking. You proud. You walking around your chest out because y'all set 10, 15 deep and y'all doing y'all thing up in there. That's when it started getting fun. Y'all
right.
You packing fools out, you jumping on fools, you doing your thing, you gang banging. You in that age where you gang banging, and a 15-year-old mind, that's all that matters. Being tougher than the next set.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, Cash, that was like the same thing for you too?
Again, it cut out.
I said, was that the same kind of reaction that you had, like when you were coming up, like the more your homies was in there?
Man, like you say, we didn't think about, all that everybody being out there. You know what I'm saying? We looking for the homie to come in so we can show them the work we've been putting in and how big we done got since we been there.
Not the swole talk.
Yeah, man, we look for everybody coming up so we can tell them what's been going on in there, and they can tell us what's been going on out there, and we can go just keep on pushing.
Right.
Man, so we can have some stories to talk about. It don't even be about what nobody can do or who on the outside until you get old and you start thinking about all the things you go. But at that time, 15, 16 years old, 12, 13 years old, you ain't thinking about nothing like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Even when I was faced in the courtroom, my mind wasn't even thinking like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking shit when I go to the criminal things, I wonder if I'm going to go over with what's the name, or they going to put me on the unit with what's the name. I want to go to the hardest unit they got. You know what I'm saying? So I can show my trick. You know what I'm saying?
That's it,
unit, then I'm in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you don't be thinking about none of that stuff,
That's real,
yeah. In juvenile and state school, this is what everybody thinking about. Catching up with what's name and doing what he doing, cause you're hearing about it on the streets,
Right.
Yeah,
so D Chef said a child's mind thinks childish thoughts, no real life experiences.
Let me ask this.
Yeah.
Do y'all think that the penal system is a little too harsh on us for some of our crimes? If you were sitting on as like a judge, no jury, just you the judge, and you had to judge a lot of this juvenile crimes and all that, would you judge it and deal with it differently? Would you have a method that you think could quell it?
Well, from my answer to that would be, man, how to put it? Different generations. Now, like during my time, all right, okay, like right today, like I'm gonna say in Cali, you can catch a robbery case and get 100 years. Whereas back when I was young, I went to jail 3 times for armed robbery before I got 5 years. So it was a little bit different. But now, to be 100% honest with you, I had a tattoo, man, that said, prison was built for people like me. Once I got old enough to really look back and evaluate me and evaluate what I was doing when I was coming up, I'm like, man, I would have locked me up too. I mean, because you got to understand, the drive-bys, what I'm saying, taking people's lives, not caring nothing about it, shooting up people's houses and, all this and that. Now, as a kid, no, I didn't want to go to jail for it. But as an adult, as a mature adult, I understand the repercussions and consequences from what I was doing. And some of these youngsters out here, homie, they doing some things that
Securus. Goodbye.
you can't do nothing but sit them down for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Cash gonna probably call back. Well, he's gonna call back, but I was gonna let you finish.
So Cartel, say for instance, you the judge, and this kid and came by, shit, he did a drive-by, and shit, he hit the wrong people. He hit a little kid. He hit another little kid. Didn't even hit his target. And now he in your courtroom. He 15, and you got to judge him for the time he get. What you give him? How would you get him right?
And he done took somebody's life in the drive-by?
Yeah, the wrong person though. Not even the right person.
Yeah, the wrong person makes it even worse, homie. Because now you can look at the guy who pulled the trigger, look at his family, but now you also put yourself in the shoes of the mother, the father of the young girl or the young boy who ain't never gang bang, who ain't never had nothing to do with it. Now how they gonna feel? Now you as a judge, you have to take into consideration how the victim's family is. And now if you take a life, there's a certain amount of time you got to do. I mean, that's simple as that. You have taken a life, but as a juvenile, would I want to give a 15-year-old life without? No. In California back then, we took a life, we got 7 years, what was called YA life. They gave you 7 years in youth authority. Now, once you become an adult, if you took a life, then they was gonna hit you with the 25 to life, 15 to life. But you know what I'm saying? If you take a life, not looking at it from our street mentality, from our gang mentality, our hood mentality, if you take a life, you have to pay for what you did. I can't put a real number on how much time a person should do. I can't put a number on that one, but a slap on the wrist, scot-free, and you've taken a life, that's not gonna fly.
So that's powerful.
How about the same 15-year-old come in? He and did a little rape. These are cases that I've experienced that I know about. So I'm throwing, just shit that's been a part of my life. So this motherfucking raped somebody. He had doubled back to the girl's house and put the knife to their neck and touch some shit up. What do you get in your courtroom?
See now, I can't put myself in a judge's position on something like that. Because you got to look. You just asked the person who spent almost 40 years of his life behind bars, and I have a certain outlook on like child cases and rape cases and all that. I got a certain outlook on that, homie. So, I mean, me personally, man, hey, I don't want to say the wrong thing on here, but you know what I'm saying? Hey, in Cali, we got a certain outlook on that type of thing, man. So I can't answer from the point of a judge, but from the point of a street dude, hey, man, you got one thing coming, and that's that.
At 15, though?
Oh, at 15?
Yeah, we talking about juvenile, the kids, because before a motherfucker ever grown doing this, they doing this shit young. They doing it young. You know,
Okay,
way
now,
young.
all right. I got to. Okay, I forgot the 15 part because
talking
now,
about kids.
yeah, because I'm gonna keep it real with you. When we was 15 in the set, like homegirls that wanted to get put on the set, it was a certain way they got to get put on the set. You know what I mean? And stuff like, and it was crazy because we did stuff back then that we didn't look at it as we would look at it as a grown person. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And you got to look at he 15, she might be 14, or he 15, she might be 16, and they really just experiencing it. I couldn't see me personally. I could, depending on the circumstances. You know what I'm saying? This girl saying, okay, her mama done caught him and her together. Now the mama screaming and done got in the little girl's ear and told the little girl, tell the judge he did this and he did that.
Mhm.
The whole time the little girl a freak off the rip. But now that she done got caught, her mama trying to make her look like a goody two shoe, but she probably took it from him on the real. Judge got to be able to see that stuff and know that stuff, you know. But now, as far as him getting out, going back, tripping on the family, now he funking out of bounds. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
You done slid from up under it because we know old girl, the neighborhood freak. You done slid from up under that. All right, cool. Leave that situation alone. Don't go back tripping with the family, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's like these juveniles is off the chain out here. You know, I know a lot of people that work for the juvenile systems, so I get to hear a lot of these stories. And you know, just in my personal life period of what I've seen with my own eyes, and it amazes me that it got to be real hard to be a judge.
It really do because I mean, us as dudes coming up, man, especially when we coming up in the ghetto in that environment, man, them little old girls running, man, everybody done probably ran a train before on a female. You know what I'm saying? And once they get out, like I say, now she finna scream this and scream that because of what her mama telling her to do, not knowing the whole time she the one came over to the homie house and all 4-5 dudes up in there doing what they do. It's all really on her, but
well, I'm gonna give you guys this scenario. You're saying about like she's 14, he's 15, he's 15, she's 16. Let's talk about maybe in a sense of a 13-year-old and a 19 going on 20.
Like the boy that's all over the news right now.
Yeah, and a 13-year-old, and then but you know, and it's somebody else. It's somebody else. It's people that we know that have these same kind of situations where the girl was 13 years old and they may have been 17. What kind of stuff like the person gets out and the person gets lifetime got to register, but how do you guys look at that as like in the when you look at it, the gang culture, I want to say, in the gang culture, how do they look at the fact of a 13-year-old child to a 17 and a 20-year-old?
A 19-year-old dude got a 13-year-old girl pregnant.
Or like sleeping with the 13-year-old.
Oh, sleeping with her.
He's sick. Something wrong with him.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Because, listen, there's a couple ways to look at, 13, 17, they still teens. And then you got a track that they possibly go to school together. Because you got a guy that might be a senior dating a girl that's a freshman,
Mm-hmm.
and the way the birthdays and shit fall. So where do they encounter each other? You know what I mean?
Right.
If it's in school, doing their schooling, high school, junior high.
Or just in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? In the neighborhood.
Yeah. You've seen a lot of older guys. Shit, the college guys used to come to the high school to get
listen, they used to pull up. They used to pull up in the nice little cars, okay? Give them a little money. Don't let
the girls in high school were regular girls. They
listen, don't talk about Pretty Ricky Fontaine coming up out there out the car with his pocket full of money and a nice little Cadillac.
So I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna let Cash and Cartoon speak on that because I'm confused with it with the little kids.
Because I had a home girl one time. Mm-hmm. Now this is back in the day. She was pregnant at 12.
Yeah, I got a friend that was pregnant at 11, and he was a grown dude. So,
and she was pregnant by one of the homies that was way older, and this was a close little homegirl because matter of fact, she was like we used to call her Lady Cartoon. She was like my little homegirl. And at 12, she was pregnant by one of the homies that was like a year or two older than me.
Oh.
But yeah. Matter of fact, okay, if she was 12 at the time, the homie might have been in his early 20s. You know, and the cold part about it, now to be just keep it 100, didn't nobody really in the set look at it crazy, you know, even though now it's crazy to me.
Right.
Back then, homies really didn't even look at it crazy or question it. And I don't know why that was back then. I don't know why.
Right.
I don't know why.
What'd you say, Cash?
I said the dudes used to listen to the little chicks that were my age. Them niggas were 19, 20, 21. I mean, you know, it wasn't nothing. You know, I had a girlfriend that was my age, that she was a virgin. I told my homeboy how you do it to a virgin to make her remember you. He said, man, want me to break her in for you? I said, yeah, break her in for me. You know, and you know, it's an honor to share my girl with my homeboy. You know what I'm saying? My big homie say he wants some, you know what I mean? That mean I gotta pay that girl back in my mind. That's what I was thinking, you know, like if that nigga like my girl, that mean I got a choice chick, you know what I'm talking about?
Right.
And, he had sex with her, I went in behind him, you know what I'm saying? You know, and you know, I didn't know no better, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, back then people didn't frown on that. All them old niggas was scooping them young chicks up, man, and doing them like that, man. And we know that is wrong. But back then, them niggas, everybody was doing it.
Right.
Man, so, yeah, man.
And see, and I agree. Like he say, he telling the truth because, like I say, whether we knew it was wrong or just didn't pay no attention to it, if this is something that been going on since the beginning of time, man, them old fools running behind all the little young girls in the neighborhood, the older homies trying to get them. And I seen it all the time back in the day, like young homegirls mess with older homies. And then like, you know, then you go through this thing like the homegirl pop up pregnant. Everybody, you know what I'm saying, looking at each other, trying to figure out, man, that's your baby. No, that's your baby. No, that's your baby. Because they creeping, you know what I'm saying?
Rock, paper, scissors, who baby it is.
Yeah. Then when the baby come, like, oh man, you know that's your baby. Look at that baby. Like you say, back then, when looking at it sideways until you get older and understand, like, wait a minute, hold on, man, that's wrong as a big dog.
Right. But like, you know, so now we're getting to the point where however many times you guys went to juvenile hall or what do you guys call it? YA type of thing. However many times you did that, and the transition. So, Baby Cash had told us he got certified at 16. So at 16, he went into the real prison at 16. So, when was your first time going into like the penitentiary?
Who, mine?
Yeah.
Well, first off, like in the South, they will certify your behind for prison real fast. That's one thing I noticed about the South. They will 14 and up for the wrong type of case. 14 and up, you're going to prison in the South,
right?
But like
with the grown man, the big prison.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get this straight. At 14, they gonna put you in the same room with the 50-year-olds, the 60-year-olds, just everybody.
Man, I got a homie named Bug Low. He's 7'4" Hoover. I'm out here I met him out here in Alabama. He was certified and sent to the grown man prison. He was 14 and caught his case. At 15, man, this man was in a grown man's prison, and he's still in there right today, almost 40 years later.
Crazy.
But now, you know, California was a little different because we had that YA system, and that YA system was like a juvenile, really like a juvenile prison. So,
and you stay there till like you're 21, right? You stay in there till you're like 21. Some people.
Yeah. Then they flipped it that you can stay in there till 25. But Mostly in Cali, you was gonna have to be 18 or older to go to prison. But now, like, cause I went to YA twice, and I got into it. While you in YA, if you up and you in Cali, if you messing up in YA, they'll flip you and just kick you out of YA and go ahead and send you to prison. So that happened to a lot of us. But my prison time started. I think I was like 23, starting like around 23, 24.
Okay. Okay. So like, okay, with the different experiences. So Cash went in as a kid, going into the prison system, probably being able to see all kind of crazy stuff. Because I can't imagine a 16-year-old going into a prison, and then you got all these weirdos up in there doing stuff to these people. They, you know what I'm saying? You seeing people, it's a lot of stuff. And then you going in at 20, so you're pretty much grown. You pretty much full court cartoon. You know what I'm saying? Like you knocking niggas out.
Yeah, I was grown. I was in my 20s when I started doing prison time. But now, when I was in Alabama, I had a cellie that was 17, and I was in my 40s and 50s. And
so like you think about that with those situations when you put a kid in a cell with a grown person, but if you get the wrong grown person, right, and you get one of those rapists that's out there doing their stuff to these overpowering, because those old man strength, you know what I'm saying? I think we don't really talk about it like this, where now they're doing stuff. You putting these kids in prison with these grown men, and then some of them are sick in the head. Now they're graping them and doing all that stuff.
See, look, it's so many different things that go with that. Just because he's 17 don't mean he ain't got the backup, because he might be 16, 17, 18 coming into the system, but he might be coming in as a Crip, a Blood, a disciple, a Vice Lord, or whatever. So when he get up in there, his people gonna circle the wagons around him. And if they put him in the wrong cell, that off the rip, they gonna let him know, hey, homie, check this out. You put your hands on my little oak, you might as well go and get ready, because we gonna do this, this, and this to you. Or they, you know what I'm saying? So, it all depends. Now, if he come in and he ain't got no type of backing, no type of nothing, and they put him in the cell with a predator, it's iffy on how they gonna go. But see, you got a lot of dudes in there, just because they older, don't mean they stick in the mind. A youngster come in, they'll take them under their wing and try to teach them the right way to go, what to do, and teach them the ropes, how to make weapons, what to do in this situation, what to do in that situation. It all depends on where he fall at. If they put him in the cell with one of them creeps, and like I say, if he part of a gang or organization, his homies gonna come and they gonna get him up out of it. Come on, homie, get out the cell with that fool. He got 4, 5 boys and he tripping, and now, come on, you don't need to be around none of that. And one of the things that happen when you come in young like that, it's either gonna make you or break you. Some of your most dangerous people in prison are the ones that came in young like that, but they had that heart and they wasn't finna take no shorts. And so they learned how to do real damage at a young age, and they grew up with that rage, with that damage. Now here it is, they're in their 30s and 40s and they stomp down killers now.
Okay. What about you, Cash?
Yeah, the complaint, the change, man. So, being in the cell with a nigga when you 16 years old, he's 40, he's more in danger than you is, because you got something to prove and you ain't trying to hear. The way he got form, he got some etiquette or technique, the way he go by that, you like a wild man and So, you more dangerous than he is, because you trying to survive, you gonna survive, you ain't got your mind on nothing but surviving. So he really don't know what he up against anyway. But see, let's tell you this, cartoon. When I got there, it wasn't no lot of Crips and Bloods, in prison. I got down in there too. I was approved, but as far as everybody loading up and everybody being together, it wasn't like that until my group of partners came down in '92, and we all started forming some etiquette to it. So just say one of my homies was in the cell with a booty bandit nigga. You know what I'm saying? And nigga knew he was a booty bandit. We couldn't go to the law and tell him, say, man, we couldn't tell that nigga to move, because that was a sign of weakness. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, you end up with that nigga, that booty bandit nigga, you better go on mashing. You know what I'm saying? Then clicking on niggas, it really wasn't allowed either. You know what I'm saying? So the homies had to teach each other how to fight, and we had to be strong. We couldn't pick up no knives and nothing unless you was established. If you weren't established, you couldn't even have a knife because niggas were gonna say you was a coward if you had a knife. So your head game had to be superb because that's the only thing we was allowed to have, to hold on to when it came to the blacks. Now we would fight some whites or some Mexicans or whatever, you know what I'm saying? We could have a little piece of glass or some locks and belts and all that, man. But when it came to fighting niggas, it was all about the shoulders, man. Now you had some dudes that had time or whatever, but they was already established. But trying to move out the cell with a nigga was like a sign of weak. You know, nigga was gonna come back at you because nigga felt like you couldn't stand up under that pressure. Then nigga, you got some girl in you, man. You know what I'm saying? But but once everything started forming and they locked in down, girl, then it was a different story. Like, hey, look out, homie, you know what I'm saying? Woo. You already know, don't go down with my homie the wrong way. When you come out here, nigga, you gotta face that. You know, when you looking at some niggas mean and the motherfucker, because we had a point to prove. We had a spot to take, in this world right here. And being that we were just fresh and brand new prior to the other prison game, and we really had to go a little harder than everybody else because that was the only way that we were going to be able to be established. Now, as far as when I came, it wasn't about gang banging as of yet. It was about city tripping, I'm from Dallas. You got dudes from Houston. So Dallas and Houston didn't get along. You know what I'm saying? So if you were from any other little town outside of Austin or San Antonio, you had to find your place where you were going to get it and chill with them. So if you were from Tyler or Longview, you had to either be with the Dallas niggas, Houston, Austin, or San Antonio. You had to pick you one because this was the four biggest cities that had people coming down, Fort Worth and all. So, yeah, man, it was a different thing down here, but nonetheless, man, they still threw us in with the big boys, man. We didn't have no programs. We did have a state school where you could stay in from the time you however old to you for 18. And then, if they feel like you need a little more evaluation, they'll evaluate you again at 21, and they'll either let you go home or send you to prison. If they don't send you to prison, or let you go home when you're 18. But, man, I missed that, you know what I'm saying, and came straight to the penitentiary. Man, I hit this sucker. I was still 16 years old, man. I turned 17 in here, man. Man, they do us with the marker, man.
So now that you guys are when you're there, right? So now you kind of become your environment in there. So now you gotta protect yourself. You going in, you smashing on people, you taking care of business. How far into your sentences did you feel like this change, that you really need to change?
That's a question that can only be answered individually by each person's different experience.
So that's
for me. Now, what kind of change do you mean? Like I'm tired of doing this, or like what you mean?
Yeah. So more so the change of dang, I gotta get it together. This can't be it.
I was in my 50s.
Okay. No, but you know what I'm saying? You gotta respect it. You gotta respect it. Because a lot of people can't be honest enough to say that.
Right.
It took you a long time to get to the point where you this right here ain't it no more. But before you got there, you was smashing the gas. You was doing what you have to do.
Man, full speed ahead. Didn't care nothing about going home. Didn't care nothing about nothing.
Right. So then you made that change in your 50s. You know what I'm saying? So then what was the moment? Was it your wife? Was it your mom, family?
To be honest with you, it was, to be 100% honest with you, it was the people I was around.
How old are you, Cartoon, again?
I'm 61.
61?
Yes.
Black don't crack.
Oh shit. Okay. Okay. Okay.
And it was the people I was around. Man, I got so disenchanted with the homies. They had got watered down. It was just, I was like, you get to the point where you like, man, I adopted a motto. I adopted a motto, let the dead bury the dead. And that motto for me was basically, if you wasn't cripping like I was cripping, man, stay away from around me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time for you. Y'all telling, you running. We get into it with these different gangs. Y'all won't come out the cell, locking your doors, man, all that old weird funny bunny mess. So I'm like, you know what, man, I'm through it. Hey, man, it's time for me to go home. I didn't gave this jail stuff all I can give it. And the cold part about it, it wasn't even for me at that time. It wasn't even about my mama sick, my kids grown, people in my family dying, passing away. I was still stuck on some. Oh man, the gang ain't what it used to be. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But now, and so then it took, to be honest with you, it took for me to come home to get out, because I ain't never stayed out more than 4 months. The longest I've ever stayed out was 4 months. It was always the longest was 4, then it was like 3, 2, a couple of weeks, a few days. I was in and out, just 39 years and 7 months of just back and forth. Just, and then when I finally came home this time, like, my story, my mom, she was on her deathbed and she asked me, she said, baby, please give yourself a chance. I'm like, well, okay, mom, what you talking about? She was like, don't come back to LA. Please don't come back. And I said, all right. So that's why I stayed in Alabama. I'm still in Alabama now. That's what made, but with me changing my environment and changing the people that I was used to being around, it worked out for me. You know what I'm saying?
Able to prosper.
Yeah, you like I said, you change your playmates, change your playground. And after I was out for a couple of years, I was able to get, that jail stuff started seeping up out me. I was like, oh, okay, so this is what it's like to be out a year. This is what it's like to be out 2 years, 3 years, 4. And as time went on, I'm like, man, you know what? I kind of like this street stuff. I think I'm gonna, try it a little bit more.
Right. And Cash.
Hey, man, I'm like that too. I started looking around and then see none of my partners, nobody that understood me. I'm still preaching this song. Niggas look at me like, man, this nigga is tripping. Talking about doing this. This thing must be crazy or something. I just knew that you had to get an extreme point across to get the understanding that you needed it. Is y'all with it? Now, man, niggas even trying to avoid me and all that there, man, and I really couldn't relate to nobody no more, man. That really hit me probably about 10 years ago, man. And it really dawned on me, man, probably the last 5 or 6 years, man, because I got into trouble probably about 4 years ago, man. Them folks try to freeze me and everything, man. Just so happened it was a blood nigga that I knew, and that nigga the only one to help me. This was February of 2021 when it was like 8 or 10 degrees, 10 degrees below, you know what I'm saying? And say, man, I'm sorry. Say, man, that's when the game.
Your mic.
Man,
fix your mic, Cash.
You hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep.
What about now?
You good.
And it came along to help me, man, I would have probably froze to death, man. You know what I'm saying? But man, I started looking. I'm like, man, this hefty, man, because ain't none of my kind of people around no more. You know what I'm saying? And I'm the only one that's still holding on to this, the only one still believing in this. Man, I can't be the only one down here like this. All these niggas getting out, ain't nobody hollering back at a nigga. I ain't heard from these niggas, but I done put myself on the line with these niggas, man. Forget that. I'm gone, man. You know what I'm saying? So I really, started seeing this probably about 10 years ago, but I'm going to say about 6 years, man. I really just unplugged myself from this kind of type of stuff. And, man, it's time to go. Don't let them
Time to go.
And
Man,
so
he said, man, his story is my story.
Right.
He said it dead on the nail head. Man, when you get to the point where you look around and it ain't what it used to be, that's
Right.
when you start waking up and saying, you know what, man, it's time to go. It's time for me to go and get up out of here. Everybody else leaving. Ain't nobody else like me in here.
Yeah.
It's time to go.
So when did faith come in? When did faith? When did y'all start finding faith again? When did y'all find whoever, like, I don't talk, when I talk about religion, it doesn't matter who you're praying to, who your God is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I when did that faith in God or Allah or anybody come back and make you say, you know what, God, I need you.
But for me,
Allah, I need you.
it happened while I was doing time in Alabama. And I gave my life to God. I moved into the faith dorm, and I started going to church and trying to live a different type of life because God had touched my heart. But now, one thing about Satan, he ain't gonna never leave you alone. He gonna always pick at you. But the stronger you get in the word, the less he'll pick at you, but he will always pick. It might go from picking at you every day to picking at you once a year, but he gonna always thump the glass to see what that water gonna do. Yep. And that's what happened with me. I thought I was strong in the word, but I wasn't as strong as I thought. And everybody has a stronghold in their life, whether it's dope, gambling, women, money, drugs. Everybody got a certain type of stronghold. And my stronghold was that gang stuff. And I was in a prison one time in Alabama, and I'm walking around with a Bible so big it looked like I'm carrying the 10 Commandments. And I'm trying to do my Christian thing, And what had happened, a lot of Crips that got transferred and a lot of blood that came in. And so the blood started kicking the Crips and they behind. And I'm looking and I'm trying to like stay on my Jesus thing, my Christian path. But I'm looking at my little young homies get punched on, stabbed, kicked, backed out.
Right.
I'm like, hold up, man, hold on, man, hold up. And I messed up. I backslid, man. I closed the Bible up and told the homies, man, let's go. And went and kicked the ride off. And I was back. But I told God that day, I said, God, look, I'm willingly going back to this foolishness. I said, but one day, I told him, I said, one day, God, I'm coming back to you. I said, I know what I'm supposed to do. Because when I was in the word, he spoke to me and let me know what I had to do.
Right.
And I backslid, man. I went to gang. Next thing I know, 100 years later, 50 million different lockup jail terms, and beat up by the police, tased and all that, stabbings. And I finally, I came home with that foolishness though. Until God stepped in again while I was out here on the streets. And he told me, say, look, man, I'm tired of playing with you. What you gonna do? You can't serve two gods. It's time. Right. What you gonna do? And I listened to him. I'm like, God, you know what? You're right. I done gave the game all I could give it. I can't give it no more.
Right.
I can't. And I told my wife, I said, baby, look, it's about like this, and this. And I called back to the homies and told them, hey, y'all, I'm through. They like, what? Hey, I'm through, homie. You can go ahead and retire that name cartoon. I said, man, I'm giving my life to God and I'm not looking back. And I did that and I'm not looking back.
Right. Right. Yeah. So like, so you're because you're out. So your situation.
Sound like Cash wanted to add on to that.
Cash only got a minute. So we gotta wait for him to call back. I knew it was coming up to a minute. Let me make sure.
Yeah, Cartoon said you had a light bulb moment. Let me tell you something.
Hang up, Cash.
The top is way better than the bottom. You hear me? Mm-hmm. And so what I mean by that is to get a chance to see this big old beautiful world. You know what I mean? Listen, man. Listen. It's 23 million miles of useful land for us. 29 million useful land that you can see. We cover, we cover 23 million original people, and them devils cover 6 million. But altogether, 29 million miles useful. I went to Switzerland to the UN last year. And Switzerland, I'd never seen nothing like it. I said, God damn, it was the cleanest place I ever seen in my life. I'm talking about You talking about heaven on earth? It was there. When I'm talking about how clean it was, I wasn't worried about nothing. It's real good to walk around, don't worry about nothing. You hear me?
Right.
I ain't worried about nobody running up in the store shooting it up. I ain't worried about niggas trying to rob me. No, nothing. Switzerland, man.
Right.
You know. Now I'm sure they got his pockets of some bullshit somewhere, but I didn't see it, and I was all over it. You know. So it's good to travel and see. When you get a chance to get out in this world and see, shit, it ain't no time to sit in no cage. I've been
That's
out
right.
in Jamaica,
I just
man.
want to
I've been in
remind
Paris.
everybody. I just want to remind everybody, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, you guys. Let's get this out. Let's get this good, positive information and get it out to the people, to the masses, so they can see that these three men have great stories and great feedback to give and talk. And, you know, it don't always have to be the negative. It could be some good in this. Let's shout out to Sandy, Dre Too Much, Danielle, K Riz, D Shell, YNFL, who we got? We got
that's a lot of names I ain't heard in a while.
look, we got a whole bunch of them. We had Austin, we had Jess. You know, thank you guys for all coming in and spending time. Listen, it's only gonna get better, you guys, because for real, if having these conversations not only helps them be able to help and save the masses, but it helps people like me, like you guys, who may not have been in those situations, but it make you reevaluate how your life is going and which direction you're going. A lot of times we think we got our stuff together and we like, yeah, we're fine, we got this, we doing this, we doing that. And then when reality comes, it's not that. You know what I'm saying? It becomes more. So like, I love having these conversations and these dialogues because it's gonna help somebody. And
Hey, man,
like,
listen.
you think about these youth who,
I was just gonna say, listen, life will teach you how to live it if you can live it long enough. You understand?
Right.
Some of the
That's
fruit
real.
go die to show and prove to the rest of the fruit how real it is. So you go have some casualties.
That's real.
Right.
Within them casualties, it's a lot of lessons to be learned. And all of us that's still here at my age, you made it through squeaky clean. You know, you lucky to be here. You know, we come from black families. We come from black neighborhoods, black. And most of us is in poverty. And because it's a lot of poverty going on, it's gonna be a lot of crime and a lot of things that set young black men back. And that sets the neighborhood back, that set the people back when we set back. But you know, like I said, if you able to make it to these ages, then you're able to drop some jewels to help mop the world up, you know?
Right.
There's a cartoon. I don't know much about you, brother. I heard your name a few times through Britannia here. She got so many names, everybody call her, right? But Chachi was telling, I heard something about you, you know, that you had a lot going on. Why don't you talk to the panel about what you got going on, brother?
As far as like in social media,
social media, whatever you're doing,
where they can catch you at, where they can see you working at, where they can see, you know what I'm saying?
What you got? Shit, promote your thing. What you do?
Well, my Instagram is da.ova.lord. I don't really go over there a lot, but my YouTube channel is Foundation Nation. If you look up under Foundation Nation, Cartoon 53 might pop up, Foundation Nation might pop up. They both mine. I do a lot of videos on trying to talk to the youngsters about what goes on in prison and why they should not want to go, what goes on the streets and what they should and should not want to do to try to get away from certain people that's going to take them that route. You know what I'm saying? I do like I'll be on Country Wayne. I don't know if you hip to Country Wayne.
The comedian, I heard of him. Yeah, I've seen him.
Okay, I'll be on the Country Wayne show a lot. And I'm just, I'm just really just floating, trying to find my real niche in what I gotta do, out here with the I'm trying to get into going to speaking in the juvenile halls, speaking in the county jails, coaching the little league football. My whole thing is the youth. Trying to stop them from going. I don't like the homie up here, 33 years still in there. Me, almost 40 years. Other brothers that's still in there. Like I was telling you about my partner Bug Low. Went at 14. He's still in there 40 some years later almost. That's what I don't want them to do, homie. When I lost my mom's, it kind of woke me up and let me know, hey man, she hung on long enough for me to get out. When I made parole and I called her and told her, I said, Mom, I made parole. She gave it up right then and there. It wasn't 2 weeks later, she was out of here, you know? And she told me, she said she was holding on long enough to see me get out. Because when I got set off 2 years before I got out, they set me off, and I told her, she said, boy, you're going to make me live to be 100 years old. She was 90 when she passed. Wow. She said, you're going to make me live to be 100. I'm like, what you talking? She said, baby, I ain't going nowhere till you get out. And so 2 years later, when I made it, and I went on and told her, I said, Mom, I'm on my way. That's when she said, you know what? Okay, cool. And she kind of like gave up the ghost. And I got out and I was able to come see her while she was on her deathbed right before she left me. And so I don't want other kids to let the streets take them away from their family, because that gang stuff made me turn a blind eye to my kids, to my family, my sisters, my mama, all of them. They came second.
Right. Well, let me ask you this, Cartoon and Cat, both of y'all. What do you think that you could tell a youth that they listen? You know what I mean? Because here's the flip side. What is the penitentiary in the penitentiary system without black men? What would that system be without you, Cash, me, and all the other millions of us in it? What would it be without us in it?
It would almost be non-existent, for one, because we make up the majority in almost every state except for California. We make up the majority. It's modern day slavery. They've been using the penal system to put them chains back on us that they couldn't put on us the way they had them on us 400 years ago. So now what they do, they chain us down with them courtrooms.
Yeah.
And see, like I say, a lot of youngsters don't realize it because they caught up in the environment that they born and raised into. They not looking at it like, man, I don't care about no, you know what I'm saying? And that's how they taking it, man. I go up in there and I do this and that. That's what come I tell them. I put a video out today, just about an hour before I got on here, and on the video it's called Parental Discretion Advised. This is prison. And I let them know what's going on in there. See, a lot of them think it's gonna go in there, it's gonna be a cakewalk. I let them know what you gonna see. Mm-hmm. Which when you go up in the cell and you in there and the dude laying in the bed with another man, they hugged up like husband and wife. What you gonna do when you gotta get up on the weekend to get showered so you can go on the visiting yard, but you can't get in the shower because they in there having an orgy. When you sleeping in a dorm and you trying to sleep on the top bunk and your bunk moving because you got two dudes up under you 69 in a hump. You know, ain't nobody telling them that, and they don't know about that. And they think, oh, so that's why I give it to them in the raw. Like, is this what you want to go be around? Right. Is this what you think you think it's cool? Well, that's what's going on up in there.
Oh wow. Now Cash is back. Was you gonna ask him the question, Jahi?
What was Cash saying?
No, remember the question we left off at.
I'm sorry, I forgot. Shit, I'm old.
I was gonna say, I've been trying to reach out to the kids too, man. But this is even worse than that. Now you got, people from the same set going against each other because they want to go get high. The other dude over there, and he the opposition supposedly to them. So it ain't no more homies, and it ain't no more opposition no more. Everybody is down with whoever they down with. You got the smokers down with the smokers. If the dudes over there mess with the dudes, they over there with the dudes that mess with the dudes, regardless of what this is and all that. So this little dude saw some stuff from a Mexican probably about 5 months ago. So he didn't break bread with the little blood dude that was his homie. So they left him out there. Well, the Mexican come in the nigga's cell, man, stab him up and set the nigga on fire, man. Hey, man, this had me so mad, but I didn't have nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? I've been trying to get myself together, man. But, man, they stabbed the nigga up while he was asleep and set him on fire, man. I woke up to the fire smoke. They just fell above me at the time. And I couldn't understand how niggas was messed up about this young man. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, ain't nobody messed up with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm the only one that feel twisted up about this young man because, you know, this gave people some room to flex. Like, yeah, we done this, we here. You know what I'm saying? And they kind of bothered me, man, because had it been somebody else, hey, man, nobody ain't seeing that, nobody ain't ready to eat nothing, man, you know what I'm saying? That question that he asked a while ago about when his faith kicked in. You know, when my old man died, you know, my faith kicked in, man, and it's making me want to try to get myself together a little more because I was numb at first, but that tore me all the way out right there when I seen my pop die. And like his mom, man, she held on, but my pop was trying to hold on, man. And they told me that I was make parole, and they killed him right there. You know, so I be trying to let these little kids, these little youngsters know, man, that, hey, man, you know, you're going to lose everything that you got by not taking into account, you know, what you can do right now before you get there versus when you get there and trying to catch on later on because I'm telling you what you're facing. You know, you can either listen to me or take that step, man, but this is what you think when you make the wrong move, man. But what really made me grab a hold to God a lot more, man. And don't get me wrong, I still, you know, have my moments, man, you know, cause, you know, I'm not perfect. I'm not all the way there yet, but I'm headed that way. So that's better than not going that way at all, man. I feel like, but me and my silly had a fight years ago, man, and I blacked out for me. I got so mad until I can't tell you. I started hitting. What happened next was just when I came to, because my homeboy, you know, that was working, heard us fighting and came to the door and he called my name and snapped me out. Man, I looked over the cell. It was blood everywhere. Nigga, I made him shit on his belt. Man, I'm looking at the nigga all blood. I can't even tell you what I had done to the nigga, man. You know what I'm saying? The nigga was so scared, man. I'm like, God damn, you know, I'm trying to figure out, man, what did I do to this dude, man? Blood all on the wall. And I knew I had to get a hold of myself. Yeah, I said, man, this like her. I get too angry, man, and I needed God to change that anger in me, man, because I was mad. I've been in prison. You know, I was angry, super angry. You know what I'm saying? And I needed some things to change about myself, man. So I grabbed on to the Lord a little more, man. And ever since then, I've been trying to walk that walk right up. You know, I'm going to be face wang too, but boy, it's anything other than a face wang.
Right.
Man, these niggas here, but have me going through it every day, man. But you know, it's all on you when you want to change. You know what I'm saying? You can't put it in nobody else's hands. You gotta be wanting to change inside your heart, man. So it's all on you. You know, when you want to change and do the right thing, man.
Now, you have a question. Born Rich asks, ask Cash, does he suggest a man entertain a woman while behind bars, or do he feel like he's holding her back?
He said, say it again.
He said, does he suggest a man entertain a woman while behind bars, or just do he feel like he's holding her back? So are you in a relationship?
You know, listen, man, you know, man made for woman. You know, ain't nothing gonna be able to stop, you know what I'm saying, what's meant to be, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can entertain a woman from behind bars because a man behind bars sometimes got a lot more to give than a man on the street next to a woman, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm gonna talk to the essence of a woman, you know what I'm saying, to where a man gonna talk certain things about to a woman. You know, I'm gonna talk to the soul of a woman, you know what I'm saying? You know, so I'm gonna be able to appreciate a woman of love differently than a man on the outside, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, no man in prison should ever give up on entertaining a woman or being whole with a woman because a woman is made for a man, and if a man starts reaching to have that compatibility and that companion, then he out of there, man. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we made for, man. I don't believe that, nothing stops nothing that's real, you know what I'm saying, unless feel like you done gave up and your world just didn't crumble because, you didn't lost all hope. But me personally, I haven't lost hope. And I'm going to keep reaching out for what I desire, man. Each to their own. If some don't, that's on them. But me, hey, man, I got to have me a woman in my life, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't know no other way, man. But yeah, I feel like you should keep entertaining the woman, regardless of him being locked up in the army, in the Navy, whatever he is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't stop no matter what no person that. Yeah.
Yeah, respect it. So when it comes to like, and when I mean about forgiveness, it's not even about for anybody else. It's for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times we don't forgive ourselves for the mistakes that we've made in our life. You know what I'm saying? And you were a child when you made the mistakes that you made, but have you truly forgiven yourself for and not like looking back at the fact of man, like, regret, you know what I'm saying? Because you already did the time. Now you know what I'm saying? How do you look at yourself now when you look in the mirror?
That's me or cartoon.
Cartoon not on here right now.
All right, for me, man, yeah, I'm forgiving myself, but to actually live out that forgiveness, that's what made me want to reach out to the people, man, reach out to the kids, When I was young, my like I say, my father had polio. And, I wanted to be a doctor, man, so that I can help people that sick, so I can help people that broken, man, you know what I'm saying? And I always had that kind of heart in me, man, to be able to see things in people that they couldn't see in themselves, man. So, that part of me forgiving myself for doing the things and making the wrong turns in life, you know, make me want to replace that with trying to help others do right and get themselves together so that they won't have to face what I'm facing.
Right.
This is an ugly look. You know what I'm saying? When you sitting right here looking at it, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Just picturing it now. I can put my feet out, sitting on the bottom wall against the wall. It's paint, old stains on the wall. Ain't no telling what it is. Roaches crawling around and something that you just can't kill because then the fabric gonna appear. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
hot. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't do a lot of different things. So when you start thinking about, man, somebody else gonna sit in this same bed that I'm sitting in right now, and it might be somebody that was the age I was when I came to her. Man, that's something kind of scary, man, because a lot of people ain't gonna be able to face their reality, man. Reality is ugly to look at, man. You know what I'm saying? And man, I don't even know how to tell you. I don't know. I don't think, man, it has to be because looking at this now and realizing what I'm looking at, hey, man, this is so hurtful to look at this. I'm talking about this is the ugly thing, man. You know what I'm saying? This is the ugliest thing I think a person can be faced with. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want nobody to ever have to go through this shit, man, if I can help. You know what I'm saying? So every time I get a chance to just speak out, I want to speak out on those type of things because I want somebody to be able to see what I'm going through right now so they won't have to go through it and they can turn that other way, man, and get away from this because, hey, man, this is the ugliest thing, man. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want nobody to see this, man. So, yeah, I had to forgive myself because in order to be a better person, you got to find the forgiveness in your heart, man. You can't keep carrying it with you just like baggage. If you carry that baggage, it's just going to weigh you down, man. And there's some unnecessary stuff that I don't need going to my future, man. So, yeah, man, I had to give myself to move on, and I want to just replace that with being able to help other people.
Okay. Um, Born Rich asked the question. He said, What would you say if your daughter told you that she was dating someone behind bars? That's
Uh,
for me. That's for me and you.
uh,
That's for me and you. A question for us both
uh,
to answer. That's a question for both of us to answer. He said, "What would you say if your daughter told you that she was dating someone behind bars?"
if my daughter told me she was dating someone behind bars, I asked her what kind of dude he is, what type of things he into. I mean, what, what is he reaching to accomplish in life, you know what I'm saying? And what is she willing to help him do, you know what I'm saying? I let her know that, hey, ain't a dude behind bars, man, come with a lot of different things and a lot of different kind of emotions, you know what I'm saying? And that if you're not willing to give all that it really takes to be what he need to be, you know what I'm saying, including his inspirations, then, don't make that step because, you know, it takes more than just being this woman behind bars, and it takes more than him just being your man with him being behind bars. If he not inspiring you and lifting you up and encouraging you and motivating you to move on and do something better with your life, and he's not the type of man that you need because he gonna stagnate you. You get what I'm saying? And you don't need to be stagnated by nobody, whether he in here or out there. So
Right.
whatever you're doing, not something that will push you further or make you become a better person, regardless of what to do that, then that ain't the person for you because if you can't progress in life and you going backwards with it, and that's the step that you don't want to take going backwards. So if that's the choice you want to make in life, and that's where her heart at in life, and hey man, who am I to hold her back or have something bad or negative to say about the next man because she might got a dude out there she messing with, he might be old funny dude. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
He might have a whole bunch of skeletons in his closet. So he might not be no better than the dude that's locked up. So dudes all around, regardless if he's locked up or not, still got to be able to hold their own. And a lot of dudes out there not holding their own. So, might be it the best thing for her might be messing with the dude in prison because those dudes out there so messed up by women, so messed up about life until a lot of them don't know which way to turn away. And I hate for my daughter to get caught up with a dude that's on some funny stuff and he's scared to be who he is, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, I don't knock nothing, man. Everything makes sense to me because I know how to look for the positive in life. The brain got the best in things.
Right. I'm gonna say for me, that that's something that they would have to. That's a choice that they would have to make. I would give them like my reservation on the situation, but like Cash said, if the person is a solid person, if you ask what kind of person, what kind of man he is, if you ask like certain kind of questions, you can know if a person is a good person or not. You can know if a person has great intentions or they don't. But it's one of those things that you never know. You don't even know when you're dating someone that's in the free world. Like I think we've all been in situations with people in the free world that shit. Probably if you was in a relationship with somebody in prison that you probably wouldn't even never went through. But I think that's just a personal choice. Of course, be reserved, be careful because there are some people that have um bad intentions, but once you get past that, I feel like that's a decision that they would have to make. I can't make a choice for a person to uh I wouldn't put that stigma on a person because like you don't know why they're in there, you don't know what happened. It's just like the lady that right now that's awaiting trial for shooting the men that jumped her brother outside of the Foot Locker. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like one of those things that yeah, she go in there, she say they give her all this time. Well, she probably was a good person and a loyal person, but because she was trying to stick up for her brother, she got in there. So we don't really know what a person's history is, but I feel like at the end of the day that that's your daughter's choice. I can't make that choice, but like I said, there's not no there's sometimes in the free world the choices aren't that great. And just like in the penitentiary, some of the choices aren't great. It's just they gotta find their person. And at the end of the day, I can't choose who their person is. Um, so Born said, I'm asking that respectfully, Britt, because I would tell my daughter to find a man that's in the free world. Yeah, and then you get a man that's in the free world, and what happens if he's busting her upside her head? He's in the free world though. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't you can't make those decisions. You gotta, your child gotta make that decision. A lot of times as parents, what we do is we block our kids and we make our kids do stuff irrationally because we're being judgmental. And a lot of times that's how we lose our kids. So I think that as me as a parent, as a mother with three daughters, if my daughters came to me and said they want to date a man that's in prison, that's the conversation. And I'm gonna tell them the pros and the cons, and I'm gonna tell them what to look for, and I'm gonna tell them, what kind of person it is. And I'm gonna want to talk to the person just because, sometimes we raise our kids a little green. So just so happen, what I'm saying, that person might be real slick. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, huh?
No, go ahead. I'm gonna hit it when you finish.
I feel like when it comes to that kind of thing, though, like it doesn't matter if a person's in the free world or if they're in penitentiary. If they're a jacked up person, they're gonna be a jacked up person regardless.
So as that dude, that's Born Rich, right?
Yeah, he
So
can hear you.
What if his daughter husband got locked up? Should she stay down with him? You know what I'm saying? Let's say he locked up behind protecting her, and he just don't have to come to prison. Does she leave him because he came to her and go find somebody else, or she stay down with him? What would he tell her to do? If he killed a man behind her, he ended up going to prison.
Right.
And he had a choice to tell her to stay with him or leave him. What would he tell her to do?
Born, did you hear that? That question was for you, Born. And you guys know what? I'm gonna put the link in the chat because we can kind of open up the dialogue. And yeah, you guys could now don't come up here on no crazy stuff because I don't play that. But we could definitely have great conversation and great dialogue. And then, yeah, I'll put that in the chat. Right, Danielle. Tread lightly. Don't come up in here on nothing crazy. But if you guys have a question, Born Rich, if you want to respond to the question or you want to come on the panel and we can talk about it, that'll be good. Also, you guys, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Remember that all of Baby Cash's books are on Barnes and Noble and Amazon, and it's under Baby Cash Houston. Hold on, Born Rich is coming up. Born, okay, that's you. Hey, Born.
Yeah, what up, Bree? What up, Cash?
Did you hear what he said?
Oh, right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, no, I love. First and foremost, I just gotta say, Bree and Cash, I love these conversations, man. I like chopping it up with the brother, man. For real, for real.
Yeah.
It gives me another perspective on it. But if you said, okay, so if my daughter was with a man, he
Her
unalived
husband.
somebody, and then now he gotta go to jail. If I gotta be honest with y'all, if he's never gonna get out, I'm probably gonna tell her, baby, you probably gotta find somebody else. I hate, you know what I'm saying? Now, if he's maybe down for 10 or something like that, or even if he don't do an unaliving, he go to jail for scamming or something, or drugs or something, and he might got to do a 5 or something. Yeah, stay with that man, hold him down. But if he's never getting out, like, be still, that's your husband, so still be in this corner when he call and write him letters. But you still got to move around eventually because you got to have a life. You feel me? And I just want to say this, Britt, on the other topic of what would I tell my daughter? I know we all want the best for our kids, right? So like if my daughter she's 15 now, but if my daughter was 20 and she was like, yeah, I met a guy that was in jail. Met her through a friend or something, or a pen pal, or however she met him. But she met a guy that's in jail. I would be like, nah, baby, like you deserve a man with a college degree, a lawyer, a doctor, and Brick. Like, we gotta be honest. We all want the best for our children, so
Mhm.
it comes with a stigma. Like men behind bars, or anybody behind bars, it comes with a stigma. Even if my daughter, like I used to trap, right? So if my daughter was like, yeah, the dude I'm messing with now, he got the sack. I'm gonna be like, baby, that's gonna lead you to a dead end. You don't want to deal with him. You should get you one of these college dudes, or blase, blase, and that's all I want to say on that. Man.
Yeah. No, you ain't wrong for thinking like this. Because if my dog told me a dude who pushing, he had sex, I'm gonna show enough tell, hey, man, you don't need to ride in no car like so.
Yeah, for real.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, make sure he ain't. You know what I'm saying? If he was just a check boy, I'm still gonna tell him. You know what I'm saying? What I feel. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, they still gonna have to come up with, what they gonna come up with anyway.
That's a fact.
Right.
They gonna have their own mind. Yeah, I'm gonna swing like a bug. Hey, man, you a jack boy. I'll be fine around you with my grandson, and I'm gonna start hollering. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man.
Now you finna start hollering. Like, but no, for real. I guess for me, because I got 3 daughters and I am a only daughter and a youngest child. You know what I'm saying? I know I haven't made let me pop my collar. Okay. I haven't made that many mistakes in my life, but I have made some mistakes in my life with some of these relationship shit. And I would say that you never know. And when we tell our kids, you got kids, when you tell them no or they can't do something, it pushes them to it.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So for me, just being able to have that dialogue with them, these are the pros, these are the cons. Maybe talk to him. How's his relationship with his mom? He got kids? How's his relationship with the kids? Like, what is he looking for out of this? Is he looking for, what I'm saying? You got to kind of talk to him like that, because right when you come in straight up saying, nah, leave him alone. You don't need him. Now you got him sneaking.
Yeah.
Now you got them not telling you like, hey, I'm with this man or whatever you got going on. But as a parent, I think our biggest thing is just to support them. Like, of course, we want the best for our kids, but sometimes some people in the penitentiaries has done more than people that's in the free world.
And I didn't want that question to come off like I was judging people that's locked up.
No. But we're all parents, so we understand it. We understand what you're saying when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? Like as a parent, I'm gonna question it, but I'm gonna come at it a different way, just because I know that if I could tell my daughter, no, don't date this person, he's a bad person.
Yeah.
Or I don't think he's good for you. Well, my daughter gonna say, oh yeah, let me prove you wrong, lady.
Yeah.
Let me show you. And then now we sit over here with her coming back later on with baby Hitler. You know what I'm saying?
The British parents, I'm waiting to say I told you so. So as soon as that nigga mess up, I'm waiting to say I told you.
This nigga Benji stupid. He said if he got the bag, every nickel bag sold, I need $2. I can't stand him.
Yeah, but I'm definitely gonna tell my girl. You know what I'm saying? And I know at 15 she's in high school now, so she's probably being exposed because Britt, you know how we was in high school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And some niggas, there's sports guys, then you got the pretty boys, and then you got the hustle. You got the jack boys. Cash brought up jack boys. You got the jack boys. You got all these different personalities, man. So I'm gonna always try to give the good advice, but I understand what y'all saying. Like we can't stop in the long run, at the end of the day, we can't stop our kids from doing what the fuck they want to do. They gonna do it regardless. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if they come and say, "Hey, Dad, what do you think?"
What do you think? Right.
Yeah, if they say, "Dad,"
but then you still got to. But even with the what do you think, you still got low key got to tread lightly. because
I
you
hear
can't
you.
come
I don't know, Brett.
because you can't come off too judgmental. You know what I'm saying? If you come off too judgmental, she gonna be like, "Ugh, I'm not telling you nothing else,
Yeah,
Dad."
yeah. No, you're right. You're right. And I
So
like
then
you said that.
so
I
you
like
gotta
you
come
said
back
that.
like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so I understand, but these are my concerns.
I like you saying that because that's how I do. I do tread lightly with my girls.
Yeah, yeah.
With my son,
Most of you
hey,
guys do.
with my son, it was like, nah, hell no, don't do that. Boy, that's stupid.
Right.
That's stupid to do. But with my girls, I do be like, well, let me explain. You know what I'm saying? I do more
Yeah,
explain.
now you want to be a little bit more gentle, little like rubber. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's gonna be okay. Because listen, regardless of go, heartbreak gonna come, and it's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
come. It's
that's a
gonna come
fact.
from a nigga from the free world or a nigga in the
That's a fact.
penitentiary. It
That's
doesn't
a
matter. The heartbreak is coming,
that's
and
a fact.
look, the first heartbreak be the worst. You know what I'm saying? And then we be laughing in our head because it's really puppy love, but in their heart, oh my god, I can't believe he did that to me with her. She don't even have her hair done. Her edges ain't even done. You know what I'm saying? Like then when they get older and that heartbreak hit different.
Nah, I do, Brick. I ain't gonna lie. I laugh at my son. I can get a random call on a Wednesday night. My son be like, Pops, can I come stay with you? I was like, you arguing with your girl. She done put you out. She done put your
Now
ass
listen, my mom always told me, don't put your man out because you're gonna put him out to another woman's house.
out. I never heard that, Brick.
Listen, my mom said, you better tell his ass, you know what I'm saying? I'm going in the other room.
Nah,
You know what I'm saying? Don't walk out that door. Where you going?
He funny, Britt. He come with his trash bag and his PlayStation 5. Look, I went to work. Got off work, came back home. That trash bag was gone. PlayStation 5 gone. I said,
He back home.
yeah,
They
that's just
made
a
up.
little, yeah. You know how it
Sometimes they need a break. They gotta learn how to
yeah, you
conflict
know
resolution
how
in the house. But like it's crazy because in relationships, everyday relationship, people don't know what's really going on. Hey Benji,
What up?
people don't really know what's going on. So it's more so like being able to be transparent with your kids, but then
Yeah.
also telling them like, you know what, I see better for you.
Yeah. And see, like I said earlier, Britt, it's a stigma. And shout out to you, Buttons. But it's a stigma that comes with men that's locked up. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's always gonna be like, yeah. I, I hate to say this, Britt, but as a father, I don't care what he's locked up for. He's locked up. Like you, in my mind, you deserve better
What
than
I
the
told,
man
look,
who's
you know
going
what
to
I was
jail.
saying? What you locked up for? It better be a felony.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I hate to
Don't
be
be no
like that.
misdemeanor. Don't be no
It-
punk bitch.
it's just the stigma. It's just the
Right.
stigma of that, though. Really,
Yeah.
and I've been a man who been in jail. Not nothing long term, but I've been arrested before.
You
But
went to jail. You went to the community, what's they called? The
no,
county
that little
jail.
quick
You went
joint.
to the
I did
county
40.
jail, stayed
Yeah, I
24 to
did
48 hours,
county,
and you came out like
county,
you was
county.
swole.
I did
You
county.
came out like you was swole.
Nah, I did. Hey, Britt, I came home and said, yeah, that ain't for me. I experienced it. What is that?
Eating that cold
Yeah.
bologna sandwich
Yeah.
with the molded cheese.
I went there, got the T-shirt, and I'm done. Goddamn it!
Can I take the t-shirt home? Can
Yeah,
I take it home?
I'm
That's
never
my
doing
souvenir.
that no more, babe. Hell
What,
no.
That's felony.
what's the jail out there called? What's the jail out there called? Can I take
Yeah. Davidson County.
Can I
Davidson
take
County.
Davidson County property home? I need this
Yeah.
shirt to put on my
I ain't-
wall to look at.
No, sir. Like he was saying, man, he got that. And that conversation was funny though. He said niggas is having an orgy in the shower.
No, like because
Hey, yo, that was crazy
Hey, that was
right
crazy.
there, yo.
He said, no, I think
no, but like cartoon was so real on that part because we, it's people going through that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And like it's a lot of undercovers. It's a lot of, what I'm saying, they be they going back and forth when they doing that shit. And so like he said, you on the top bunk and then your bed is shaking because the motherfuckers down at the bottom doing shit. Like, do you really want to be involved in that? Do you want
yeah,
to do, you know what I'm
exactly.
saying? You don't.
Exactly. You
Some
don't.
lot of right
You
there.
don't. And that's why I like when I asked the holding her back question. Because I have had guys that's been locked up before that was like, man, you know what? I let my girl go because I felt like I was just holding her back. You know what I'm saying?
You are.
I felt like I was calling her. Now she got to designate time out of her life to talk to me. And you know, them jail calls is what, 30 minutes? So now she got to take 30 minutes out of her life to talk to me. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I just, them was just the questions I was wondering.
A couple times I got locked up, nigga. I didn't want no visits or nothing, nigga. I didn't even worry about nobody.
Benji, I did 45 days, bro, and I was a phone nigga. I was on that phone. I made sure my day phone. I had a little girlfriend then. I was like, man, make sure that money stay on that phone. For real, for
Mm.
real. And this before Cash App. So this is my homies really gotta go meet her somewhere and give her the cash.
Greened out like a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
But like y'all said, listen, y'all, I really appreciate you guys coming and spending time with me on another Certified Street Chronicles episode 2. You know what I'm saying? Thank you to Baby Cash. Thank you to Jahi Allah. Thank you to Cartoon 53, aka Tony, for coming to kind of just share y'all stories and having that dialogue with us. Thank you, Born. Thank you, Benji, for coming up here, spending time with us. Everybody that came and supported and liked, shared, and subscribed. Everybody that came and engaged in the chat. Remember, we're going to be doing this every week just to be able to have this conversation, kind of think, open our mind to a lot of different stuff. And, you know, I appreciate you guys. I got a lot of content that we're working on, not just for this show, but a couple of my other shows. And shout out to my how do I call it? Do I call it my editor who made my intro and outro? I appreciate it. That's not for this show. I got a
Okay.
special intro and outro that's gonna be coming for this show. It just ain't ready yet. But I just really appreciate you guys kind of like opening up and like this hearing the conversation and just staying positive, y'all. Like the content is coming and the content is coming from everybody. And everybody got some good stuff and we support everybody. And the biggest thing is that, we could all move forward and be bigger and better as long as we kind of keep that negativity behind us. And of course, we all indulge every once in a while, but we always got to come back. And I want to, like tonight, I want you guys to, before you go to bed, just think about it. Think about faith, family, and forgiveness. And think about the times that you really, when you really needed to lean on your religion, your God, you know what I'm saying? And the time that your family really was there and the time that like you had to either forgive yourself or you had to be forgiven, um, we're all imperfect, but at the end of the day, we really want to, be better. And at our biggest concern now is kind of to help these youth and help these kids and help them, prevent them from doing stuff that these men have to deal with at young ages. And not just that, even these young girls, giving them that support and helping them, but if that means not getting into gang activities or involvement, or like getting situations where they're getting pregnant and all, kind of having that outlet for these kids to talk. It's going to be a lot of great stuff happening, a lot of stuff coming within the next couple of months, a nonprofit and everything. So you guys you know just support, just be there for me. Like, I think that you guys are gonna like what we got coming. And like I said, I'm gonna be here to support you guys as well. But I think that we on to something, y'all.
Now,
So
appreciate it, Britt. I want to say this, Britt, for real.
yeah,
Appreciate you. You are on to something, man.
thank
This
you.
shit is fire, man. And
Thank you.
I tell the homie Stone too, man. Like bringing cash on here is dope, man. I get to ask the
Yeah,
questions that you don't. It's not every day you get to talk to a person that's in cash situation. You see what I'm saying? So I like talking, asking him questions, and he answer them though. He don't, you know what I'm saying? I know y'all know me sometimes, boy,
right.
trolling or whatever, but he don't look at me like I be trolling. He answer my questions because I make sure when I'm talking to him, I'm asking genuine questions because I genuinely want to know.
Yeah,
Like, what do you think? What's your mentality behind them walls? You
right.
know what I mean? This shit dope, Britt. You on to something though, man. I appreciate you for having me, Britt. For real.
No, no problem. Thank you guys so much. I'll be around. I know you going live tonight for your Don and Jack show tonight.
I don't know, man. This nigga ain't answering the phone, but I'll go. I'll go. I might do a
Go
Hey,
live,
News.
nigga.
News, wait,
I'm-
News. Not Steven sent you over here. You not subscribed to me?
Steven Poppin. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go live though, man. I mean, I want all y'all to pull up. You, Britt, Benji, Steve,
Oh, yeah.
everybody. Y'all pull up, man. I go live though, man. I do slick got a little recap.
Look, is News, did you come over here with the soft voice? Steven sent us over here.
You can't get on my panel, Britt. You can't join my panel with that voice, man. I'm not doing that voice with her no more.
Look, you already know, but like I said, I appreciate you guys for coming, and we got some more stuff to come, and whatever we do, listen, just be ready. Next Sunday is going down. It's going to be Certified Street Chronicles episode 3 next Sunday, and it's just going to get bigger and better every week. So I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful night. I'll see y'all in these YouTube streets, and talk to y'all later. Bye.
Salute.